So we talked a bit about, or you mentioned a bit about some of your treatment and some of the ways you manage it that way. Is there, on a personal level, in terms of passions or activities or focuses that you find, like what? Well, I know this has given purpose to my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
What have you got going on in that arena?
So it's funny. It's the hardest thing to deal with PTSD. What I've been doing is working out like a maniac, running marathons, whatever, right? But I'd overcompensated to the point where I was physically becoming injured all the time, and it's dialing it back. It's dialing it back and being healthy, eating healthy, running, going to the gym. That's the triangle I talked about. I think it's great. I think it's a great strategy. So education, physical fitness, and professionalism, I think, are the three triangles. And part of that is family in the middle, right? But I'm realizing that you have to achieve that balance in all those categories to make the family core stronger. So under physical fitness, I need to learn to dial it back. I'm overdoing it still. Like I feel best when I'm physically exhausted, and I can't do any more. And that's part of it. That's part of the injury, and I need to dial it back and just work out enough to be physically healthy. I need to go overboard. I'm not running any marathons tomorrow. Like, come on. So education is another piece, to it. And I went to, part of when I was going through my issues, to bury it, I went to university. I got a BA while I was overseas, while I was working out like a fiend and doing all this stuff. I had no life. I was completely, I did not focus on me. I focused on everything else but me. So now I'm drawing it into me. That triangle still works, but in the core it has to be the family, and you're part of that family, you know what I mean? So you have to have that balance between education, school, physical fitness, and professionalism, and with our core and the family, being in the middle of it. So yeah, finish my BA. Now I'm ready to go back to school again, and to find something I actually really enjoy, and just keep the brain active. I think it's important. As well as professionalism, I love being part of the D&D. I love being where I work now. I'm still contributing to the fight, but I'm back. I'm 7-3.
There's time for the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's important. No, don't focus too much on work. And that was the other biggest thing. I immersed myself so much in work. Absolutely not. No, man. You gotta work what you have to. Don't invest your life in it. It shouldn't become you. Work is something you do. It's not who you are. So that was a big lesson I had to learn. And the Army, I'm a result of the Army. I was so institutionalized. I thought the Army was me, and that became me, which was really unhealthy, because I did not have balance at all. So it's achieving that balance, absolutely, that through those aspects. Hobbies, I mean, I really don't have a hobby per se. It's physical fitness. It's sports. I love sports, and it takes up all my time. Yeah. That and reading, so and being a good father.
Well, I guess what strikes me is you say like the professionalism and mental health and managing those things, yeah. And you said now there's that core, the focus. Before, like, I guess to paraphrase, it was kind of hollow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And definitely me, I became an overachiever and a workaholic, because if I'm so busy doing that, I don't have time to worry about anything else.
So true. So that's what we do.
And you've kind of stuck with a lot of the same things, and I have too. Me is the big adventure thing.
For sure.
So what do you do now to work on the core? So we've talked about the outside and those things. What are you doing now to work on the core to help bring that together?
So if you look at those other aspects, it makes you more of a solid person. So it's being able to have a hard look at yourself and say you love yourself. and to say, if my family disappeared tomorrow, I'll be okay. I really had a hard time with that. I've always been with a fire team partner. I've always been with a team. Being isolated by yourself, holy fuck. I don't know if I could do that. But guess what? In order to love your family, in order to be a family, you have to love yourself, and you have to understand that if you're by yourself, you'll be okay. And coming to that resolution helped me become a better person, a better father, a better lover to my wife, a better friend to my wife, because I'm able to love myself. And you can't love anybody else unless you love yourself. I mean, I learned that when I was in grade 2, right? But it's another story to hear about it. And our life changes, and our values changes, and our ethics change over time. And we have to revisit those. And we have to take stock in all that. We have to sit down and go through what are the things that mean most to us right now. Yeah. You know, that does make up your core, you know? I mean, my core is my family, but your core may be the adventure or having a very close friend or something like that.
Well, you know,
everybody's has a different core, you know?
Yeah. Well, part of my struggle is bringing that core back to family and relationships, because that's what I neglected forever.
We have.
You know?
Right? It's the hollow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I sought that, you know, when I became an image tech, it was, I need that adventure back that I had in the infantry. And I neglect everything else to that, you know, because I have to be different. I have to be doing something that other people won't do. Some of them, you know.
So true.
But so when you say, you know, the fact that your family might be gone, do you mean that in the sense of that military family being gone, or do you mean in general that no matter what happens, you're talking about that self-value? And
self-value, yeah. And if everything fails, when you look at yourself, you'll be okay. You have to believe that. For you to move forward, you have to look at yourself. On my recce course, never in my life had I ever been alone by myself, and I wasn't alone in the woods, trusting my equipment, right? Trust your equipment, right? Yeah. Alone in the woods, fucking leg 5, dehydrated, lack of sleep, wherever, right? Yeah. For the first time in my life, I had to look at myself and say, "Fuck, you're it. It's you, man. It's all you." Right? Yep. And I was frozen. Like my whole entire body was frozen because I was so dehydrated. Yeah. And I was fucked up by my pacing was off and rolling ORVs. You know what I mean? So I was dying, man. But I did it. And you know, after achieving that, Willie McDonald and Rod Deering were the course warrants for that fuckers. Those guys, you know, they ran a really tough course, and I learned. That's what I learned, the value of being that you'll be okay. But I had lost that value over the years, because I hadn't experienced that hardship that by myself for several years again, and going through this issue. Nobody can do it but us. Nobody can do this but us. We can get assistance, but it's icky. You know what I mean? We have to, we're the ones that make the decision whether we succeed or not, you know? So coming to that realization was once you overcome that, you found your whole. You found whole. Because you love yourself, you're able to love others. You're able to create a core. That core again, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's the whole crux of it. It's all inwards, man. Yeah. It's all us.
It's that taking ownership of it.
Yep.
Not letting it define you, but taking it as your responsibility. And
again, it's so easy to say, and it's so easy to talk about, and get all this therapy and people telling you what you need to do. But fuck, to actually take it on, man. Like, to actually believe in yourself, believe that you can do it, believe that you'll be okay, it was the hardest thing that I'd had to ever do. Yeah. And I'm not even there yet. Like, I am about 70% there. Yeah, because I still carry a lot of guilt. I still carry a lot of not self-worth issues, but you know, guilt about being a terrible parent, and I have to overcome that. I need to overcome that issue to move forward, you know, and have I had to sit down with my kids to discuss all this? I haven't. You know, I'm talking to you, I'm talking to a stranger, but I haven't even talked to my own children about this, and they're old enough now. And I have to have the balls to sit them down and talk to them about why I did the things I did, you know,
Yep.
why we experienced the things they experienced, you know. So that's something I still have to do, and I have to gain the courage to do that, and that's very hard for me, you know.
You know, I'm in the same boat. My 20-year-old, he turns 20 next month, and he saw the video I made of where I kind of shared all this, and
It's hard.
same thing. I haven't I haven't sat down and talked to him about it.
No,
Because it's
fucking hard, dude.
yeah.
I've done a lot of regretful things to my kids, and not illegal or bad or anything like that. Just being absent. We're absent fathers. I mean, I have a couple other friends in the same boat, man. I mean, it's something that we have to resolve, and we have to talk to our kids about it, and we have to. Hopefully, they understand, and they will one day. They'll get it, and then that core again will be reunited. You know, it's gonna happen. I have faith.
Right on. Well, you know, that's. I thank you for sharing your story. It really, you know, it means. Sorry, man. It means the world to me,
Yeah.
and I know there's somebody out there who, you know, what I found. I've had people reach out to me and say, you know, I always looked up to you, and I never realized that I had that influence.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I've had the same experience.
So-
it's so true. We are worth it. I mean, we're just injured, and
Yep.
it's going to take time for us to recover.
Right on. Well, thank you, and thank you for sharing.
That's all right, bro.
It's great to meet you.
Yeah, you too, brother.
All right.